I think we take note of that. There is already ongoing effort to repair the fence in the Bwabwata National Park so that the buffaloes will not be able to come out. So this is just pending procurement processes, but of course the fence is going to be repaired as a matter of urgency.
Regarding the human-wildlife conflict, Muyunda indicated that the ministry's national policy on human-wildlife conflict management under the Human-Wildlife Conflict Self-Reliance Scheme makes provision for payment to be made to affected farmers for stock losses or to cover for the damages caused to crops, as well as for human death and injuries to people. In case of crocodile attacks, Muyunda noted that procedures, conditions and guidelines for qualifying and use of the Human-Wildlife Conflict Self-Reliance Scheme is different. Though bathing or swimming in the river is a way of life and part of the culture for people who live in the Kavango regions, Muyunda says the revised policy considers them as recreational activities. As such, any loss of life or injury claim cannot be approved by the review panel.
What happens is that at most times when we reject claims, there are reasons. Number one, it can be that the person was engaged in recreational activities. So what our policy for human-wildlife conflict management entails is that if people are engaged in non-essential issues, of course, notwithstanding the fact that people depend on rivers for livelihoods, but there are things that are essential, that we know that yes, people are drawing their lives from the river. Things like fishing, fetching water, and so on and so on. But if you are engaged in a recreational activity, such as swimming, we regard that as negligence. So you are not covered with that policy. If you are engaged in washing your clothes in the river while standing in the river, we regard that as negligence. If, for example, you are bathing while standing in the river, that is negligence. And if a crocodile or any other animal attacks you, then you are not covered with that policy. Other cases may include, like you have said, it may include a case where the body of the victim is not recovered and there is no death certificate that is produced. So without a death certificate, in accordance with our policy also, we cannot pay a person that is not issued with a death certificate. So those are some of the things that would lead for the ministry really not to pay for death claims.